Is everyone gonna clap?
No, I just clapped. I have to clap. I mean, what? Oh.
Well,
All right, so today we're going to be discussing the Rake. I know three of us watched the video. One of us couldn't watch the video.
I'm aware of the Rake. I've known about it for a long time. I just haven't watched a specific video.
Yes.
Man, this was a. I thought it was going to be a watch it while we were on the call thing.
No, no, because it's an audio. It's an audio video, an audio story. Before we get started, though, I do want to ask how many of you guys have actively listened to creepypastas before?
That would be a no.
I've been listening to creepypastas since about 2015 when I knew they kind of sort of died out then, following that Slenderman stabbing. But I've been listening and watching them and for as long as I can remember. But I have a lot more friends who are better in that than I am. But they got me into it. So nearly about 10 years.
Okay. And Adam, I'm assuming you haven't listened to very many. I mean, I know we've talked about it.
But
Yeah. All right. Well, The Rake is a classic creepypasta. It was one of those the original ones that came out, like Squidward's. Can't say that word in case because it's YouTube. But it involves Squidward, and as Levi says, starting a shotgun.
You know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. There's the Slender Man. And there are a bunch of others, but Slender Man and the Rake are the two most popular. I think next week we'll probably go over Slender Man a little bit.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever even heard of creepypasta was actually there was a Slenderman video game that came out that people were doing Let's Plays of.
Yes.
That was the first time I'd ever heard of it.
Slenderman was kind of for me when that's kind of when I heard him too, because in 2014 that stabbing took place. But just like you said, the games, because when the game came out, that was what everybody was playing at the time.
Yeah, Slenderman is a very, very popular one. I like Slenderman. I played a little bit of the game. I enjoyed it. It was creepy for its time. I mean, that was like 10+ years ago. Feels like you could go make it an Unreal Engine pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think the last one I watched I think it's a creepypasta. I don't know, but it was Salad Fingers.
I think so. Isn't that a?
I think it is. I think so. I've not heard that one.
It's like in the same vein of "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared."
Yeah.
It's like in the same. So I have it pulled up here. It is not a creepypasta, but it is placed in the same category as it's a web series. So essentially, yeah, it could be considered one technically by default.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess we should probably do this. Does everyone want to go around and introduce themselves? Because y'all haven't been on the channel before, and so yeah, who wants to go first?
I vote you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
for those who don't know who you are you?
Yeah, no, I'm Caden. I am a creepypasta author. I work with Scary Juju. I wrote the Ninth Legion series, which is probably the one claim thing or one thing I have that kind of is out there. Me and Adam are the ones who run this channel. The Malevolent Onion is what it's labeled as right now, but that could end up changing.
You run out of cereal.
But yeah, no, that's me. Adam, you wanna go next? Who's the baby?
Okay, I'm Adam. I 100% think that Vegeta could beat Thor. Don't at me. That should be enough. Everyone should know who I am at that point.
For those of you who don't know, we had a reaction video where we reacted to the Thor versus Vegeta fight, and Adam did not have a very positive reaction to the ending of that fight, and he got torn apart in the comments. It was so
No.
funny. It got so bad that we had to delete comments off of that video.
Don't touch. Don't touch.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'm John. My first Discord call. Probably just because I'm old. I think I'm older than a lot of y'all right now.
I think it's close between you and Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
In terms of age, I don't know. Yeah. This would be one of my first creepypastas, so I found it creepy but enjoyable.
Yeah, well, I mean, we popped John's cherry on this.
Well, I'm John. I have been doing YouTube for about 7-8 years, and I'm also doing the music for Caden's upcoming project that he's working on. And I'm also just a musician and like to talk about pop culture and scary stuff.
Yeah. And for those of you guys, these guys are all helping on the animatic or webcomic project. John is voicing Lucifer. Adam is doing Abel's voice, and Solaris his voice.
Maxis, forget my boy Maxis.
Yeah. Yeah, John's also doing Maxis. The baby's not playing anybody, as far as I know.
She just vibing like
Something in the background.
That's my life when I'm home.
Yeah, no, I get it. I watch Cassie on Mondays sometimes.
A child to say for the 9th at some point in her life.
Oh, I've gotten her to say it. I have it on video somewhere. I'll have to upload it.
I might have to go get her some more cereal. I think she's hungry.
All right.
I will be back shortly. Hold on one sec.
Okay.
That's a new topic. What did everybody have for lunch today?
I stole some chicken.
nice.
Yeah.
It's Lincoln.
Now, granted, I had to like kill the chicken and then cook it, but I stole a chicken.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Get to the other side.
Does the chicken love me?
Well, you did kill it, so I mean that's not for debate.
That's my love language. Violence.
I think you should probably ask the chicken.
Oh, okay.
The chicken can even give you a freaking answer.
And I'm sure it would sound something like "Bakook." So, y'all come here often? And
Well, I guess another thing that we could bring up is like what was everyone's like main first introduction to like, I guess not only I mean we kinda mentioned like the creepypasta thing, but also like what got y'all into like y'all's love or intrigue for like scary stuff, like just anything to do with the horror or suspense category.
yeah, this one we're gonna get into that after like we stop the creepypasta discussion because I'm gonna take Craig out and then we're gonna start another video. If you don't want to stay on that video, you can't. You don't have to. But we're gonna talk some horror stuff, and we're also gonna talk. A certain trailer was released today.
Is it Avengers Doomsday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. It looked really good. I got a lot of opinions on that.
Yeah, no, we're gonna talk about that later. You think Adam can hear us from his kitchen?
I mean, I'm seeing every now and then sounds.
Yeah.
So potentially.
We start. Adam.
What kind of cereal are you giving me?
Adam.
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 Yo.
Is it Cheerios?
Kicks.
Kicks? Oh, okay. I do fidget a lot. Holy crap. Uh,
Everybody usually like has to move a
You
little bit.
finished
You
it
can just
quick.
The ADHD.
oh, no, it got so bad at one point that Adam had to hand me, like, fidget spinners and stuff to keep me from, like, ruining the videos.
I mean, if you just see, I've got a bunch of things at my disposal just to grab if I really want to. But also, I do have a mouse, so I mean, I'm just fidgeting the wheel over and over again.
Getting that finger work in.
I thought this was going on YouTube.
Yeah, it is going on YouTube. All right, so after our little short little tangent, the rake. We're gonna go around, ask everybody like, what are your initial thoughts on the story? Like, what were you thinking going into it? You want to start out, Sean?
I had been very aware about the rake for a couple of years because, you know, being around a bunch of people growing up in school where everybody was just obsessed with creepypastas. I mean, you know, the rake was one that was brought up a lot in school for me, and I mean, just the iconic image of that creature just it scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. I never listened to the story until like years later, and even then, just this past listening to it, I mean, like it took me back to like the fear I had of it when I was younger. Because when I was younger and I saw that, I mean, when you're a kid, it's gonna scare. Some things will scare you, and going into the story initially, what I do remember is I was like, maybe we get some backstory of what this thing is, what it can and cannot do, etc. Like base things that you would want to know with a story going into it, and revisiting it, and having more of an appreciation for it. Exactly that thing. Um, Having more of an appreciation for it now, and obviously knowing more about creepypastas than I did, say 8-10 years ago. I can learn to appreciate it more, and going into it again, like I mentioned, scary, yes, but having more of awareness of what it is, can give me more intrigue and insight to want to learn more about it.
So you're talking about like the classic images. He just showed one. Adam did. Um, have you guys seen the image of the rake sitting on the edge of the bed? I know that one's like a classic image too.
I do remember in school. I remember
Yeah.
that. I do remember that.
That image scared the absolute hell out of me when I was younger. Like when I was like super super preteen. I don't know why. I think it was because I had just read that story for the first time, and because like I read that story whenever I first came across it. I didn't like listen to it. I actually read it around the time it came out originally, and
I know what year it came out.
I'm not off the top of my. I know I was like a preteen.
So probably 05, 06.
No, it was after that. I was about the same height actually. Um, you know.
According to online, it came out in late 2005.
Oh wow, that was a good call by John right there.
What you get?
Yeah.
Late 2005, and according, it came out um around. Let's see. It started making its way around the internet in around like I think it's saying August, September. It doesn't have a specific month, but late 2005.
All right.
And that's just when you heard it. You probably there's a chance you didn't hear it around the same time it came out. You could have heard it a few years later.
Yeah, I think it was probably about 2010 when I read it. So about 5 years later.
It grew in popularity because 2009 is when the creepypasta wiki and everything really started to take off. Because that's when people were finding out about Slender Man, the Rake. I think Jeff the Killer was even a thing at that time. So like so many of these creepypastas and the things you heard, it exploded in 2009 on the internet.
Yeah. All right. So John, what were your initial thoughts on it going into it?
Considering I was trying to watch and listen to it while I was also at work, so I could have some frame of reference for what we were talking about. I didn't really expect it to come across as more of like to me, it came across as kind of diary entries, which almost gives it like a similar feel to Paranormal Activity, where they shot the whole thing at
Like an at-home movie.
yeah, it almost gave that feel, which when that movie came out, that scared the fuck out of me. So
That was one of my favorites growing up.
Paranormal Activity is a good one, yeah.
definitely great cinematically. It just scared the living shit out of me, especially that end scene where she just at the fucking camera.
Yeah.
Well, it's so shot like it's like shot like a. If you guys know those like baby cameras and those like cameras that people put up, it's shot like so well.
Yeah, but yeah, that honestly added a lot of fear factor to it. I wasn't expecting to be on the edge of my seat listening to it, but when I finally had a chance on the way home to listen to like the last half of it, because I thought it was two videos, I thought it was two different stories in one, but then I listened to it and realized it's all about the same creature.
Yes.
Which honestly, is the Rake kind of the basis for the Skinwalker, or is the Skinwalker the basis for the Rake?
I feel like the Rake was probably inspired a little bit by some like kind of Skinwalker stuff. It's
Skinwalker's a pretty old story.
Yeah, it's very very inspired by an urban legend about these creatures called like crawlers. I want to say they are, which are like milky white beings that people say are like stalking around in woods and stuff like that. I don't know much about like who created it and whatnot, but you know, like I said, it's a very very popular creature, and it's got a. I wouldn't say it's got a huge mythos behind it because it's very shrouded in mystery, and that's like one of the points. It's like an urban legend, you know, in that sense. Uh, so also, Adam, I know you didn't get to listen to the story, but you have anything you want to add?
So I heard the story a long time ago. I don't remember much about it. All I remember is that picture I showed, a couple of other ones, and just the idea of like basically like being asleep in bed and you wake up and there's just a random little figure sitting in the corner of your room. And that's kind of an idea where the rake comes from. That scared the hell out of me when I was younger.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's not much more I have to say at the moment.
Yeah. You know, when John wakes up in the middle of the night and sees a corner or sees something in the corner of his room, he's scared that it's me.
Scared it's you, but I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No, I'm not going to bring up she who should not be named. We did bring her up on the podcast that I was just on, though. Yeah, we didn't mention anybody's names, but we talked about it for a split second because we were talking about the story about the pizza place.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was telling him that, like, oh yeah, that was inspired by a bunch of real people.
I gotta turn my camera off because I gotta get ready for work. But I'm gonna leave the thing on, and I'll throw out a comment whenever I can. Okay.
All right. No, look at his face.
Look at that face.
All right, so we talked about going like expectations going in, kind of that first story where they're talking about how they woke up and the creature's sitting on the edge of the bed. That was the first one I ever heard as far as the rate goes, right? And I do believe it's like the first like well-known story in the timeline.
Or 1691, I believe, was the year.
No, not that one. That one, that's another story in it. I was talking about the very first story that they did, where the little girl got like gutted by the rake, and the guy was trying to drive her to the hospital, and they crashed into a lake. Yeah, damn. So like mentioning that story, it gets off to kind of it gets off to a real dark start. I mean, obviously, this is a horror thing. Um, did you guys get a chance to like? Did you guys read that part growing up, or?
I do remember hearing a lot of, the rape being always like that, like you guys mentioned, like that figure that's in the dark corner, when you see it, you get to see it, but it's too little too late, that it's stayed on you and everything. But, just becomes like a real fear. Like you never know what's in the dark when you're sleeping. That's I think a big thing that kind of goes into the fear of the dark. Because you don't know what's in there. And if you see a figure like what the Rake looks like, I mean, obviously Adam provided the photo earlier, but just seeing something like that, really not knowing what it is until it's like right at you, it's definitely a horrible, one of the most horrifying things you could ever experience.
Yeah, it definitely does have that aura of mystery around it, which I like story. I like myths and urban legends like that. I will say
Yeah.
that first story when I was a preteen actually like legitimately gave me nightmares. And I think that combined with the image of it just kind of sitting on the edge of the bed and staring. Yeah, no, that terrified me when I was a kid. It really well done.
A lot of people were younger. It terrified a lot of people. I know it terrified me for a little bit. My parents didn't even know what a creepypasta or what it was, because when they heard the Rake, my parent, it was kind of a way to lighten that up, but my parents not knowing what that is, they took every rake in our house and put it in the freaking shed and stuff. And I'm like, that is not at all what I'm getting at, guys. All right, that is not what I'm talking about. But
Kid's terrified of rakes. We gotta hide them all.
absolutely.
Your dad wants to play a prank on you one Halloween, and he's got a rake. He's like, ooh, ooh.
Exactly. But I mean, it's like you said. No, if you wake up and you were to see anything like that sitting on your bed, I mean, the talk alone, you're not going to move. You're going to sit there and take whatever, because you're not going to be able to move. I mean, like, it's like you're sleeping. Oh, nothing's there. Get a nice, good night's sleep. Then you hear something. You sit up. That thing's sitting on the end of your bed. I mean, what are you going to do? The adrenaline's, all the shock and everything. You're not going to be able to move. You're pretty much dead right when you sit up.
Right. Yeah, no, that
So,
spooky, scary skeletons.
it's scary.
Yeah, it works for me. I actually do have sleep paralysis. That it doesn't happen for a long time, but that was a thing I dealt with for most of my childhood.
Wow.
Waking up and just not being able to move and feeling like there's something in the room. So yeah, the rake story is very much, um, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those stories with it, like I said, it's got this aura to it, and it's the same with a lot of these smaller scale creepypastas that like the Slender Man, like Jeff the Killer. They don't really make them like that anymore, to where they have this particular aura of just kind of like intrigue and I guess edginess would be a good way to. I just heard my own voice and I did not like that. um, I guess edginess would be a good way to put it. And yeah, no, it's definitely one of those that was super super creepy and super super out there.
I agree with that, and on top of that, that's the thing, going back in time, like you said, nobody really makes things like that anymore with anything in history. Everything's usually just handed out to you on a silver platter right away. But I will say, like, even since it's in the horror category, even some horror icons of recent, like there's a few I could probably list off, but the most iconic one, if any of y'all know the character Art the Clown, nobody has a clear backstory on him exactly yet. We're waiting on the fourth film to find out. That's like the last time I could think of anyone being so creative with a backstory with anything to do with horror. And creepypasta, that's another thing. What made them so scary is the fact that you didn't know a lot about the creature itself. You knew what it could have been based on. You knew its inspirations. You knew what it did and how it could be a harmful thing. But the one part that made that story so scary is, why are they doing this? What makes them who they are? What made them this way to begin with? And like, how did they come to be? You don't really see that at all anymore, as opposed to back then. In my opinion, and I'm sure the opinion for a lot of people, that hit the hardest is not knowing much about it. That was the horror part of it. You didn't know.
Yeah, it's that air of intrigue and mystery is that's always good to have in a story. Adam, you look so angry right now.
Resting bitch face.
Ah. Word.
I got a dog, so.
That's okay.
Are those dogs still mean?
I mean, probably still bite your ankles.
Yeah. I've only ever been bitten by 2 dogs that weren't mine. One of them was on a delivery, the other one was that one.
I've never been bitten by a dog in a while. I mean, I've been nibbled on by them, but that's because they're not trying to be mean.
Well, we call John a dog sometimes. We can have him bite you.
You call them big.
No, sir, I have a Sasquatch. Unfuck yourself.
But I mean, yeah. So in the video I sent for those of you who did get to listen to it, did it have the one that took place in the 1600s where the guy was like trying to board up his house and the thing still got in and put like a light scratch around his neck?
I believe so. Actually, I do believe so.
Yeah, that one was one of my favorites whenever I first got into it.
Okay.
I want to make a horrible joke right now about the POV I'm seeing from John, but I'm not going to.
Censor it out.
Nah, because this is going up raw, bro.
I can make a joke about that too, but I'm not going to. I think even though the fact that you would say the fact that they're like boarding it up and it still gets in, that's another thing about creepypastas in general is no matter what you do, no matter what obstacle you may put up or can try to throw at them, they always find a way around it to get you. You're never safe from them yet.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into the Slender Man because I want to do that next week sometime. Um, but that was a big thing with that particular character too, because it's just like you just can't think of a way to actually stop it without having some type of mystical means to stop it. But they never like none of the protagonists in any of those stories ever have that going for them. So there's not really a way to do really a way to do that in said story.
Are like us in a way. The characters in the story are like us. We don't know much about them, so I mean, it adds the level of why people would be afraid of them to begin with. The same for the viewer and the reader, but also the same for the protagonist in a story. Like that's what adds the fear factor. Is just like them and just like us. We don't know much about it, so what can we do?
Yeah, it's definitely got that fear of the unknown aura to it. So I guess that leads me into the next question because I don't want to like go get like describe the entire video in detail. Just because these stories have been out for forever, especially when it comes to the Rake. The next question, I guess, is: would a creature like this work in a movie today?
Yes,
You
I
think
would
so?
say so because part about the horror, like I said, it's the intrigue and the mystery. And, sure, some films, they go in depth. I mean, I don't think the prospect of turning any creepypasta into a franchise is a good idea because that would just ruin the scare factor to it. Because then everybody would be like, oh, it's not that scary. It's ran its course. But a solo film about, like, the Rake, I mean, there's so many stories you could do. You could probably do like some sort of anthology series about it if you really wanted to. I think, in my opinion, it could work as a movie, but in my opinion, it would probably be better as like a series. In my opinion, like a TV show.
What do you think, Adam?
I think it could work. I would almost think that it'd be better because I've always preferred like existential horror over direct horror.
Like
So
Cthulhu?
of course I'm always So I'm always going to go for like from the mindset of like an unreliable narrator type story that might believe that they're seeing something like the Rake, and so on and so forth. But it's something I don't like about a lot of modern horror is just how basic a lot of it is. Just quick jump scares is all they really care about. But I feel like the Rake with its backstory could make a really interesting sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like subconscious horror.
Right.
Yeah.
So if what about you, John? What do you think?
See it working a lot the way Adam says, where it's you almost don't see the creature, but you can feel its presence, even though you're not physically there. You can feel it through the movie, like something's there. Like I can see it working out very well there. And in terms of visual effects, I mean, they're just getting better and better every year. But don't know how you translate that. I'd almost rather see it the way that Guillermo del Toro would do it, with an actual like physical actor,
Practical effects.
Yeah.
like a practical effect, similar to Hellboy. Hellboy with the what was the fish guy's name again?
I know we know who you're talking about.
Abe.
Wait, wasn't he in a tank and some lady fell in love with him?
Yeah, Abe Sapien. Abe Sapien.
No, that's Shape of Water. That's a good one, Adam. That's Shape of Water. Although he was trying to fall in love with the princess in the second one, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
I'd rather see it that way. I just don't know how you could translate
I would
unless you get someone like him.
I would almost like to see it done as like a police procedural. A police procedural. Where like some guy is trying to investigate all these claims of seeing the Rake, and the Rake is on his radar now, but now he's on the Rake's radar, and the Rake starts fucking with him.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
so
cool
I'm
idea. I think there's so many things they could do with the Rake and media like that. I think it'd be a really good idea. Like I said, a TV show could work, a movie could work. An anthology horror series, like a horror film series, could work on it. I mean, there's so many good ways you can portray it in media. I mean, lots and lots of good ways. Because I mean, there's so many events that happen in the story that you could so do. The way that I would do it is like every episode of a series for it would focus on that specific story. And you don't see the Rake that much, and especially like the first couple episodes, you don't see much of it. You hear about it, see aftermaths of it, see the events. I mean, I think it could honestly work better as a show than a movie.
I think
that would be the best.
I think building off of that, you could have one overarching narrative if you did a show like that, where the person who's like talking to these people who are telling the stories is the cop who's looking for what's happening.
Exactly, that's a good idea to do, and I think that'd probably be the best way to do it, because that way you're not stretching out to where it's just not scary anymore, because there's still that intrigue of like, okay, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Why is he the way he is? There's still that intrigue when you're going into the event that takes place. You just see how deadly this thing can be.
Yeah, and God forbid, like they do something like that, and the Wayans brothers get a hold of it for like Scary Movie, because the cop would be going through doing all this procedural stuff and investigating all these people, and he finally comes face to face with the creature that's causing it, and it's P Diddy.
I mean, that's something that I'm not going to lie, has been a fear. I can't speak for everybody, but I think that for those of you who know the Scary Movie series, parodying other horror movies and stuff, I will admit that when things like that happen, like Scary Movie, don't get me wrong, they're funny, yeah. I mean, they're funny in their own way, and they're iconic in their own way, but they take the scare factor out of the base horror film it's based on, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, that's kind of the point whenever it comes to scary movies. John has vanished. I think he died. He got real still for.
Let's have a moment of silence, everybody, for John.
Yeah, alright. Oh, look at the puppy.
If I took a snapshot of that, I could make that a meme. Tequila Taco Bell.
Oh.
I have a question for y'all. A question I have about this, the Rake, is like, if y'all were to say y'all were in the world of the stories and stuff, and you saw the Rake vaguely and everything, what would you do? Like, would you try to track it down? Would you back off? Would you run away? Would you accept your fate? Like, because everyone always wants to know, what would someone do in a scenario like that? Like, what would y'all do?
I would squat, put my head between my legs, and kiss my ass goodbye. Hey, John's back!
My bad. My phone overheated.
Oh, it's okay.
The Lord worked in the screen.
Yeah, I know I get too hot. I make people's screens super hot.
We're not at work right now, but
Oh, but this is work for me.
fair enough.
Just like working at the strip club.
What do you think you would do, Adam?
I would immediately turn around and go in the opposite direction. And for every time it jumped in front of me, I would immediately go in the opposite direction until eventually I fell off a cliff.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, John, I was just asking the other two, what they would do if you were in the same realm as the Rake. Like, would you turn back? Would you try to be intrigued to figure out more? Like, what would you do if you were in the same world as the Rake?
I'm pretty sure it would just see me as one of its own. Big and ugly as I fucking am.
Damn.
Oh, there's Sasquatch. I'm not gonna fuck with him.
John will be like, "This isn't the worst one I've ever slept with."
Well,
At least it wasn't a gator man.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a gator man.
John's defense mechanism is just himself.
John's defense mechanism is trying to tickle people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
I was on the last podcast I was on. I was telling them about how John used to choke the Tickle Me Elmos at the warehouse he worked at.
yeah.
You want to get into that story for everybody?
So, at the time I worked for, can I use the actual brand names or no?
Yeah, you can.
Worked for Target. They put me in the back room. I don't know why they put me in the back room. I'm such a pleasant person. Nobody was talking to me. But they put me in the back room, and I'm putting stuff away. And I come across down the toilet aisle, Hug Me Elmo. Or it was Hug Me Elmo. Okay? And I'm looking at it. And I take it back to my boss. Hold it out for her to see. And she looks at it. She looks at me funny, and I go, "Does that not have to choke a bitch?"
Did they fire you?
I'm assuming not. I think he's frozen. John, did your phone get too hot again?
It's too hot.
Target found out they're shutting the phone down. Big Brother is watching. Big Brother is Target.
I think I not only is Target listening and watching, but guys, for the record, this video is being sponsored by Target. Hashtag Tickle Elmo. Hashtag also not sponsored by Target. This video is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. You only know it's good until you drink it.
We actually don't have any sponsors. We're not that big yet.
Maybe not. We are so not that big, but we're hoping, everybody.
We're sponsored by Random Onion Studios.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Random Onion Studios.
I'm so intrigued by John. I think John. I just took a picture of this, so John, I'm gonna turn you into Creepypasta if you can hear me.
John, say nothing if that's a yes.
Okay, good. Let's do it. I'm sorry. I know we're talking about the Rake, but I'm just intrigued by his free room right here.
Yeah, he's super frozen.
I'm really happy.
The happiest I think I've ever seen him.
I think that Tickle Me Elmo brought him some good memories.
Yeah. Before he started working with us at Domino's. A better life.
A better life.
Oh, there he goes.